It's Vlogmas Day 1 and it's time for us to play TBR Mash. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe, welcome back to my channel, thank you for being here today. Today is the first video of Vlogmas. So this year I'm going to be posting a new video every day in December up to and including Christmas Day. Just to let you know, this is going to be a little bit different from last year. Last year I did Bookmas, so all of my content was book related. But this year more and more I have started focusing on theatre on this channel. As you possibly know if you've watched any of my videos before, my two great passions in life are reading and theatre. So I thought for this year's Vlogmas content, why not do a mixture of the two? So we're still going to be doing our regular book related stuff. For the next few days it's going to be entirely book related because we've got like wrap-ups and hauls and all that usual end of month, beginning of month stuff. But further on down the line we're going to be doing a few more videos that are just about theatre, no books related at all. There are also going to be some that mix the two. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a heads up on that. But today is a video that you're used to. It is TBR Mash. TBR Mash, for anyone who doesn't know, is my TBR game. It is inspired by the childhood game of MASH. Usually you would use it to kind of predict what your life was going to turn out like. I use it to dictate my reading life for the month. So last month we had a little bit of a break from the regular TBR Mash because I was hosting a readathon, so I did TBR Mash inspired by that. This month we're back to normal. We've got our regular TBR Mash board, and let me just explain the rules for anyone who maybe hasn't seen one of these games before. So like I said, inspired by the childhood game of MASH, but instead of each of these being like a different place you're going to live or a different job you're going to have or something like this, all of these cards are prompts that I'm going to use to pick my TBR. So I use a random number generator to work my way around the board, eliminating a card each time until there is only one left in each section, and that is a prompt I use to pick something that I'm going to read for the month. Now there are some other rules where I may have to pick extra books. So each card has a colour. If the same colour comes up twice, I have to pick an extra book for that month. Also there are +1s, and if a +1 comes up again we have to pick an extra book. There are also punishments for if I've not completed my TBR the month before. I will say at the time of filming this I still have 2.5 books left to read and I only have 4 days left to do it, but I have been very good in my reading this last week, and I actually do have faith in myself to finish reading those books, so I'm not going to take a punishment. Also, it's December, it's Christmas, like I don't want to be giving myself a punishment. And actually on that note, these ones here are the extras that come up if I have to have a +1. Usually I put some books that my friends have recommended for me from a round earlier on in the year, so it's a specific book I have to read. I've not put those up this month because I don't want to force myself to read a particular book that I'm not in the mood for. I really just want to like curate this TBR to be like the sort of warm Christmassy vibes that I want it to be, and those books that are left on there are not that, so I'm just not going to go with it this month. They will return in January. But then the final prompt that we have to pick, I feel like this has taken me a while to explain these rules today. The final prompt you have to pick is MASH. So in the game this stands for mansion, apartment, shack, house. In my game mansion is a big book over 500 pages. Apartment is a small book which is under 300 pages roughly, sometimes that's hard to find. Shack is a book you've been putting off, and house is comfortable, it is a mood read. So I think that's pretty much all you need to know for the rules of the game. What I need to do now is grab my computer so we can use a random number generator so we can actually start working our way around the board. Before I do that though, like I realised this jumper keeps being out of shot and I just want to show you. It's my new Christmas jumper for this year. It says all I want for Christmas is theatre tickets. I thought that was very on brand for me. So as always, I set my parameters as being between the numbers 5 and 15, and this month we have got the number 6. Nice low number. Last month it was quite high and it made the game like less fun in some way. I don't even think it came across to you, but it felt like it for me. So I like the number 6. It's a good one. Actually, before I start counting, I'm just going to say here, I'm trying to get as many like Christmassy rom-com happy books on my TBR as possible. I do also have a couple of buddy reads or like series continuations, but generally we're going festive. That is the plan. I'm going to will it into existence right now. Anyway, you guys don't need to see me count, so let's speed this up. So we have got our first prompt. Let us see what it is. Colour. So what this means, so there's a few different ways you can do it. You can have it to sort of match the colour that you are wearing. You can have it for a random, you can have a random colour generator and use that. I'm actually going to tweak this a little bit this month. And no, this is not just so I can get something that I want to read on my TBR. But basically, it's Christmas, it's festive. I am actually wearing these colours, this works. But I feel like green and red are your like regular festive colours, right? So we're going to go with something that has either green or red, or preferably both on the cover. I will go and find a book. I'll be back with you in a second. So I'm actually going to read a book that I can't hold up for you right now because I have an arc of it. And it is All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. So I read a Christmas book by Maggie Knox last year. I think it was a holiday swap, but I could be wrong in that title. But I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I got an arc of a new Christmas book that's coming out this year. It's called All I Want for Christmas. I'm going to grab a synopsis because I can't even remember what it's about. But I know I want to read it this year, so I'm gonna start off with that. And has very much got a green cover, and there is also some red on there, so it feels festive. It's literally got Christmas in the title. I feel like we're starting off with how I want this TBR to go. So this is a synopsis. It says, true love wasn't on their holiday wish list. When Sadie and Max are selected as contestants on the famed reality singing show Star Maker, each thinks they've gotten their big Nashville break. But then they're paired up for Duet Week and stun the world with their romantic onstage chemistry. With fans going wild for #Saxa, the network demands that they remain a duo on and off stage or exit the competition. Faking a relationship until their performance in the Star Maker holiday special shouldn't be too hard, except for one small problem. Sadie and Max can't stand each other. But with their dreams just within reach, they agree to the ruse. Will their fake relationship be exposed before they can win, or will an unexpected trip to Banff spark real feelings by the Christmas finale? I'm excited for this one now I've reread the synopsis. Like, we've got fake dating, we've got enemies to lovers. Like, it's going to be a fun time. It's all set at Christmas. It's great. I love it. Good start to the TBR. Let's pick our second prompt. That was ridiculously quick. Let's see what it is. Get the blue tack off the board. We have got contemporary, which they are different colours. I had to check them because the orange and the red don't look that dissimilar to each other, but I promise one of them is orange, one of them is red, so we do not have a double yet. But we do have contemporary, which I could definitely use to put another Christmas romance on there, but I'm going to use it to put a different, still romantic book, but it's just not Christmassy, but I really, really want to read it, so I'm going to go and grab it. So for contemporary, I'm going to be reading Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. This is the second book in this companion series, the first one being Delilah Green Doesn't Care. It's a companion series of sapphic romances. I'm very, very excited for it. I really enjoyed the first one. Again, I believe it's like a not enemies to lovers, but like a dislike to lovers type situation. Sounds like the main character in this is designing a house to appear on a like home makeover show, and the lead carpenter on the project is from the family that the house like has historically belonged to, so she's a little bit reluctant to any changes, and I think they butt heads along the way, but then eventually it's going to turn into a romance. And yeah, I'm very excited for this one because like I said, I really, really loved Delilah Green earlier on this year, and I liked Astrid as a character, so I'm looking forward to reading a book from her point of view. Again, TBR is going really, really well for me so far. I'm going to jinx it now, aren't I? Okay, let's pick our third prompt. Okay, we have prompt number 3. Let's see what it is. One that doesn't want to come off the board. It is a 5-star prediction. Again, this is going really well because I have one for this that I was trying to fit onto my TBR. Do I pick the other one? I've got 2 books that I think I'm going to absolutely adore this month, and I can't decide which one to put on here. Like, they both could come up for, like, they both could work potentially for like MASH prompts. So I'm like, which one do I definitely get on now and which one then do I struggle with? I'm gonna go and think. I'll be back in a second. I think what I'm gonna do is pick this one and hope that MASH doesn't end up as Mansion, because that is what this could be saved for. But this is a buddy read that I'm gonna be doing in the month of December. It is a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. I've given a couple of other books by this author 5 stars. I'm hoping that this one is too. It's also one of Gem's favourite books, and I'm trusting her recommendation. So this is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. Pretty much all I know about this is that it's gay werewolves. Like, I don't know much else of the story, but like I said, I've had my eye on it for a while. It's just been like picked up by a major publisher in the UK, hence why we got this Pretty Waterstones edition. And I've been meaning to read it before, like the audiobooks were on Scribd for ages, and I kept meaning to listen to them and never got around to it. But I've read 4 TJ Klune books at this point and loved them all. They've all been either 4 or 5 stars, and this one feels like it's going to be more in that 5-star area. So fingers crossed. I really, really like it, because I'm going to be buddy reading it with, there's a big group of us reading this. So it is myself, Gem, Lisa, Meg, Becca, Siobhan, Catherine, Emma. I think that's everyone, but yeah, there's a lot of us. So I'm excited to see everyone's thoughts and opinions on it. Right, so let's pick our last regular prompt, providing we don't have a +1, and then we've just got MASH. And like, it's going too well. We'll see. we have our last prompt, and this one, okay, I knew it was going slightly too well, because we have got to pick an extra book because I have 2 of the blues, but that is fine. And the prompt is funny, so take that however you will. It can be like a book that is meant to be like laugh out loud funny. It can just be something that you think you're going to find entertaining. And I think for this, I'm going to go less down the like full-on comedy route and more down the like rom-com route. I mean, that's what most Christmas books are, like fun rom-coms. And that's what I'm hoping this next one has, because basically I really liked a book by this author previously and it did have that fun sort of rom-com vibe. So I'm hoping that this one does as well. The book is Kiss the Ones for Me by Alison Cochrane. So I previously read The Charm Offensive by this author and really enjoyed it. So this has been one of my most anticipated releases for this sort of end part of the year. And I've been waiting obviously for it to like be Christmas so I can read it. Obviously I have to read it now. Like if I put it off now, I won't read it till next year. So that just doesn't sound right. This is again a fake dating story, but basically it's about a woman who pretends to be somebody's fiance but then ends up falling for his sister instead. I'm very much excited for it. Like I said, I really enjoyed The Charm Offensive and it has like rom-com vibes. There's going to be some funny moments in here, so I think it counts for the prompt. And also it's my game, so I get to decide if it counts for the prompt. So now we need to pick our extra. Luckily I only have 1+1, so it's not too intimidating. So basically to pick this one, I use these extra ones down here. I don't sort of eliminate each one as I go, I just count and it's the one that it lands on. So we can already tell what it is because it's a small number, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see. This one is Unhaul. That actually works out really well, but I can't grab the book to show you because basically I have done a These Books Will Self-Destruct video and I reacted to that back in September, and there were some books that I'd not read yet but I didn't want to unhaul, and I gave myself like an extension till the end of the year, and if I'd not read them then I have to unhaul them. So far one of those books I should be reading this week. One of them I was supposed to read in October and I didn't, so that one might end up getting unhauled. The other one was one that I'd sort of said I was going to read in December, and it's a little bit different from like the rom-coms I'm reading, so it maybe will give me a little bit of a break from it. It is Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. I don't really know the synopsis of this one, and like I said, I can't actually get it because you are balanced on it at the minute and it will fall. But what I do know is that the cover's got like 1920s vibes, what I like. Maybe I should actually get a synopsis for you, that might help. So it says, growing up in a sleepy Cornish village, dreaming of being a writer, 17-year-old Lou has always wondered about the Grand Cardew house, which has stood empty for years. And when the owners arrive for the summer, a handsome dashing brother and sister, Lou is quite swept off her feet and into a world of moonlit cocktail parties and glamour beyond her wildest dreams. But as she grows closer to the Cardews, is she abandoning her own ambitions, and is there something darker lurking at the heart of the Cardew family? So it sounds intriguing. I'm still interested in it. To be honest with these ones, if I'm not liking them, I will just DNF and unhaul them. So actually a really good prompt to come up as my extra one. So happy about that. If you've had a slight angle change, it's because despite me saying that I couldn't get it out because you're balanced on it, I decided to anyway, and then yes, things did topple. But this is the book I'm going to be reading, Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. So we just have the one last thing to pick now, and that is MASH. So let's see which one we end up with. See, it was being nice to me and then it got to this. Shack, which is the book you've been putting off. I could very easily twist this, I've just realised. So I could do it a couple of ways. I could put the other unhaul book on there, but I don't necessarily want to force myself to read 2 of the books that I'm not sure about during the month. Ooh, actually, I've just had a thought. I could also read, I'll go with my original thought process first. I could also put on there a Christmas book that I meant to read last year and just didn't get around to, because that technically was put off. Or what I could read is a book that came out in August. I was very excited to read, and then for some reason I just haven't picked it up. And I told myself I was going to pick it up before the end of the year, but still it didn't even come to me, but still I didn't even think of it earlier on when I was picking things, even though there were prompts that it could have fit. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cheat the system a little bit. So for this one, I'm going to be reading Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have no idea why I haven't read this yet. It was a book I was very much anticipating. But, well, actually I do know it came like a month later than it should have done because Waterstones were Waterstones. And then by that point I was in a bit of a slump, so I didn't want to like ruin the reading experience of it. But now I'm not in a slump and I'm still not picking it up. And like I said, it didn't come to mind when I was picking things earlier, even though like it is a contemporary, it would have fit for that. I mean, I could have technically said it's got green on there, so it fits for the Christmas colour. Like, it's a 5-star prediction. It fits so many prompts, and I just didn't think to go for it. So now I'm going to make myself actually put it on my TBR and get it read, because I told myself I would read it by the end of the year. So yeah, Carrie Soto is back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So when I hold up the books that I've got to read, I actually have no Christmas books here. I've got like just these 4 here, which is Carrie Soto's Back, Wolf Song, Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, and A Sky Painted Gold. I do have the 2 Christmas, like one's an ARC and one's an audiobook to read though. So I have Kiss the Ones for Me, and I have All I Want for Christmas. So those 6 books are my like set TBR. However, I do plan on reading a fair few more books this month, because one, I'm just in more of a reading mood than I have been recently, so I'm hoping I can continue on with that. Also, like anything Christmassy, I do want to read it this month, and that TBR doesn't seem too intimidating anyway, so like I think I can still do it. There is one more fantasy book that I haven't been able to get onto this TBR that I will be reading. I will grab that in a second to show you. But yeah, basically expect there to be more Christmassy books. I have like a Christmas book that came in an Afterlight yesterday, so I'm going to hope to read that one. And then the other book that I need to read is A Gathering of Shadows by B. Schwab. That's what this is, by the way. I didn't realise this is Yulma Crate Edition, so it doesn't actually say it on the front. I've got it with Alucard on the front instead, but it does say it on the side. And then we've got Lila on the back as well. I love these ones because you can pick who you have on the front cover, and Alucard is my favourite, so of course I put it in there. But this is the second book in the Dark Shade of Magic series. I've just reread the first one during November, and I'm reading these because this is where Schwab Longa's got up to with their reread of the books, and this is a series that I was wanting to reread anyway, so I thought I would join in. Very excited to put this one on my TBR. I'll probably be listening to the audiobook. That's what I did for the first one, and found that I actually really enjoyed that reading experience, because the first time I read them all physically. It's nice to have a slightly different way of reading them, so I'm gonna like quietly add this to my TBR as well, even though it's not technically on my TBR Mash TBR. So I think not too bad of a TBR this month. I think it's been quite nice to me considering it's Christmas. Thank you, TBR Mash. But anyway, that is everything. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know if there's anything in particular you're planning on reading this month, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Bye.